I think the reason we're scared of death is because we think death takes away from us. We think it takes away our family, our friends, our experience of life, everything we've ever known, any positive emotions, it just takes away from us, and it's something that we should really, keep away from us, really just block out. But the truth is, death gives to us. Death is giving us life. There's no guarantees that your last breath, this breath that you're taking right now, and the breath I'm about to take, is going to be my last. I didn't know that. We don't get to choose when we die. So that is, on the surface, that seems like something that should provoke anxiety. But what we realise is the way we become unafraid of death is by living every moment like it is our last. Because I think what causes us the fear of death is going through life living the same way every day with no real thought. We get in the car, we go to the gym, we go to work, and we're just pretty ungrateful, and we're just like, oh, this is an effort, oh, why do I have to do this? And we just plod along and we don't really think about it, and then years go by and we don't realise. But what we're missing the point here is that it's not the quantity of life, it's the quality of life, it's the depth of life. If you immerse yourself in this very moment, you'll realise death doesn't take anything away from you. The reason we're scared of death is because we're not living like every moment is our last. We're living subconsciously, we're living unintentionally, and we know that we could be living in a way that is rich and transcends this experience that we're currently living in. So the wise man realizes that death is a gift because it's gifting us life every single moment. And the reason we're afraid of it is because we're not living fully. We're letting fear dictate our lives. We're not taking chances because we're worried about people judging us. We're worried about failing. We're worried about such insignificant things. And I think when we really process that we're going to die, and we really think consciously in every moment, and let death be at the forefront of our mind, everything we do, I think life is HD, man. Like when I live with death on my mind, and I'm like, I'm going to die one day, I enter that social interaction with a bit more venom, a bit more intention, a bit more life inside me, because I know that it's meaningful, this interaction. Same thing with work. If I'm thinking, oh, I can't be asked going to work today, when I remember I'm going to die, I'm like, shit, my work matters. I'm not going to work forever. This work that I'm doing is contributing towards something, and it matters because this time is limited. So it's not death that should scare us. It's not beginning to live that should scare us. And that's why we're currently scared of death, because we're not living to our potential. Unless you are, and the chances are if you are, you're not scared of death. So the way we become unfazed by death is by living fully. It's as simple as that. So once we just stop the fear that stops us from acting, once we get over that and say, well, we're going to die one day, let's do it anyway. What's there to lose if we're going to die? That is powerful, because that will push you to places that you never thought you could get to. And then that if death stares you in the face, if it does come about, that you wouldn't do any different. You wouldn't want more time because you wouldn't do anything differently. That you've lived a life in alignment to your potential, and you've lived in a present way, and you've done everything that you ever wanted to do. It's not about the quantity of time, it's about the quality of time. If you've done everything like it's your last moment, and you've done everything with intention and joy, you've got nothing to worry about. It doesn't matter when death comes. It doesn't matter if death comes in your 20s, because you wouldn't do anything differently. And that death is gifting you each moment. And you don't know it when death happens to you. We take our last breath without knowing it. So that's another thing to think about. We're scared about the pain of death, but the chances are you won't know when your last breath is. So that means that you don't need to think about it, and you can just use death as a tool to enjoy life. That's how you become unfazed by death. Hope this has resonated with you. I hope it's changed your perspective on death, because it's not something we should be afraid of. It's something we should harness and let empower us to live a full life. Death gives life meaning, and that's a great thing. All right. Hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be producing daily videos on anxiety, but maybe a bit of philosophy here and there as well.